So hi there, I'm Richard Murray, a professional South African triathlete representing South Africa. I do some shoe reviews, and today I'm doing a shoe review on the Nike Alphafly Next. Yeah, if you can go ahead and subscribe to this channel as well as like this video while you are here, that would be amazing. So, taking them out again for their second test ride ever. Keen to see how they feel. A little bit of strides on them. Got 6 by 30 second strides building to 248 per K. And these things are really soft. And they've got these massive air pockets in the forefoot. And they sound very odd. But apparently they go really fast, so let's see how they go. One of the weirdest sounding shoes in the entire world. Listen to these things. Don't know if you can hear them. I'm doing a review now on the Nike Alphafly Next. These shoes I've purchased with my own money, so no one's obviously told me what to say about these shoes or given me guidelines or anything like that. So this is just my honest opinion on the shoe. Yeah, I've spent kind of in the region of about 80 kilometers or just over kind of probably about 50 to 60 miles in these shoes, and I thought I'd give you my initial feelings on these shoes. What I think these shoes are great for, what I think obviously certain body types or certain type of running gaits and running styles, how these shoes would benefit different people. So I spent kind of in the region of 300 euros on these shoes, which is a hell of a lot of money to spend on shoes if you ask me. But to give my honest opinion, give my feedback on these shoes, I thought it'd be great out there for everyone to see and kind of get my feeling on how I feel on these shoes. I've been testing carbon plate races over the past 6 to 8 months, and I definitely think that this Nike Alphafly is something special, something completely different. A lot of other companies have tried to do something similar to these shoes, but once obviously Kipchoge broke the 2-hour marathon in these shoes have gone absolutely haywire, crazy, all over the internet. And yeah, I'd love to just give you my opinions and my thoughts on these shoes, what I think the shoe is great for, what I think the shoe is probably not that best suited for, and obviously the body types and the type of people that will benefit from running in this type of shoe. You know, it's a very specific type of racing shoe. I wouldn't say it is for everyone to a degree. I mean, it's really high performance racing shoe, and obviously the stack in shoes in recent years has definitely gone up a hell of a lot. So when I started running in racing flats, as you call them, racing flats, now they're kind of called marathon super shoes. Well, I'm pretty certain they're called other things out there as well. But definitely the stack height in these shoes has gone up considerably amount more. Obviously lends a lot, it does tend to make the shoe a lot less stable than the racing flats were out there back in the day. But I think that's definitely something you need to get used to, something you need to train to get used to as well. And you know, you have to go out and you have to test these shoes to make sure that obviously they work for you and that you can actually run your marathon. I've seen a lot of people just go on, grab the shoe, bang them on their feet and go out the door and do a marathon in them. And a lot of people getting injuries and getting things, and obviously you need to train in the shoe that you're going to race in, and you need to go and do some intervals or some tempos in the speed that you're used to, just to kind of get your body and your muscles adapted to that shoe and to make sure that you obviously don't injure yourself because your muscles aren't used to that type of racing shoe. So I think I'll start off with the shoe, just from the upper on the shoe. I did see Nike just brought out, or they're bringing out shortly, the Vaporfly version 2, where they've literally taken the upper from this Alphafly and they've banged it up on top of the Vaporfly, and I think that's going to be something amazing. I mean, I'm a huge fan on the upper on this Alphafly. The shoelaces, kind of, if you look pretty closely here, you can see these shoelaces almost look like something that should come out of Louis Vuitton. Very silky, little bit girly, if I would say so myself. I mean, it's a little bit girly out there, Nike, but it definitely does have a great tie-in. So obviously the shoes, because it's got these good grooves and pieces into the fabric, the laces do not slip at all. So the lacing system on the shoe is amazing. It is really, really good. This shoe obviously does run wide in the forefoot as well, so it's a wider fit in the forefoot of the shoe. I've noticed compared to the Vaporfly, Alphafly is quite a wide forefoot. It is massive. You almost look like kind of Posh Spice a little bit. I'll kind of show you an image of Posh Spice, everyone from the Spice Girls. So if you don't know the Spice Girls, maybe you're too young, but here's a picture of Posh Spice with their giant shoes on, and that's the first thing I thought when I saw the Nike Alphafly. So this reminds me of Posh Spice, massive heel wedge at the back. I think it's maximum allowed as well. It's kind of like in the region of like 40 millimeters. I don't know my calipers yet. I'm not such a shoe tuber yet, but definitely massive heel, 8 millimeter drop from the heel to the forefoot or to the toe side. It's obviously got a carbon fiber plate built into it as well. It's kind of like a swooped carbon fiber plate, and air pockets up in the forefoot. These ones end up squeaking a lot. A lot of people sometimes have issues with them squeaking. The forefoot here, this part actually compresses here and actually ends up touching the front part of the shoe when you kind of come off the toe. Heads a bit of a squeaky noise in there. One way of fixing this is by going to grab a little bit of Vaseline or grab a little bit of lube, and you can kind of lube here in between the section, and it kind of stops the squeakiness. So if you've got squeaky Alphaflys, you're not the only person. My ones squeak a hell of a lot too. Some lube in there, fix your problem solved. So obviously head on to done the upper, extremely breathable. This is called atom knit as well, so it's extremely breathable. You can literally see straight through the shoe. Heat dissipates amazing from it, so the fabric is top notch. It is really, really good. The tie-in of the shoe on the forefoot here as well, it's quite an interesting tie-in. I kind of prefer the Vaporfly a little bit more in the fit here, especially to do with how it ties up on the top of the foot. It's got a little bit more baggy, bit more room in the forefoot here, which is good for people that have a wide forefoot, but I don't feel like I need as much. So wider forefoot, definitely if you've got a wider foot, this is definitely going to be a shoe for you. You can see the carbon fiber plate literally from the bottom here. I would hate to get a rock stuck in here and smash this plate. Haven't had that yet, only put them on the road. I would not advise these for running trail races in at all. Anything off-road, I would say do never take your Alphaflys or your Vaporflys off-road. They're a road-only shoe. They're for racing only. You can do some tempos in them, but they don't like going slow. So the shoe going slow does not feel that comfortable. A lot of the carbon fiber plate shoes out there are designed for getting you up onto the forefoot, so they're not extremely comfortable if you're wanting to go slowly. Hence why I think the shoe is really orientated at kind of the high performance person out there who really wants to get the edge running faster. Although the shoe will make you run faster, even if you're running 5 minutes a K, you'll end up running quicker in it either way. So the shoe is kind of great for everyone, great for the masses. You do notice the Air Zoom pocket here in the forefoot while you're running. I did not think you would notice it that much, but this shoe is definitely forefoot heavy, so you definitely do feel the rock on the forefoot immediately. So it's almost like it's throwing you up onto the toes. It'll make your calves work quite a lot. But that definitely does help you, obviously, with a pushback. Once you push, you get that immediate bounce off, very responsive bounce off the toe from the shoe. The stability is great. I was really, really impressed. Comparing this shoe to the Vaporfly, the stability, the width and the girth of this heel it's huge. It's probably about a centimeter wider than the Vaporfly is. So stability-wise on the shoe, when you're landing on the heel, you're going through the corners. The stability on the shoe is great. So when you're heading through the corners, if you have a race, it's got a lot of corners in, the shoe would be great for that. It's definitely a positive, great feeling shoe. I mean, it felt really, really good in the shoe. Would I use the shoe for a 5 and a 10K? I'm going to say no. That's, you know, a lot of people racing out them in a 5 and a 10K. But personally for myself, you know, I kind of like a lighter shoe. The Vaporfly is a lighter shoe, a carbon fiber plate in. It's more of a simplistic shoe, and I kind of enjoy more of a simple racing flat than one that's really, really engineered. And this is probably the most engineered running shoe that I have ever run in my entire life. I mean, it's crazy. You look at it when it comes out the box and you just go, wow, this is something that is groundbreaking, something is completely new, completely different. But half marathon and a marathon. I mean, I don't run marathon, I don't run half marathon, but I would guess I ran some tempos in the shoe. So I've done some 1K repeats, I've done some tempo slower paces, I've done 1 or 2 easy runs in the shoe, and I could kind of get the feel on how the shoe feels at different speeds. And I think that's one important thing to notice, is that different shoes are obviously made for different categories of people, and majority of people are not going to be running under 3 minutes a K. That's kind of very, very high performance. And so I think different shoes factor in at different speeds and for different people. And you kind of want to find the shoe that fits in the mid-range of that speed of maybe 320 a K towards about 4 minutes a K. That's kind of the region probably most people will be doing their marathons or half marathons. The shoe's definitely aimed half marathon. It is heavier by about my size UK 9, probably about 20 or 30 odd grams heavier than the Vaporfly per shoe. So that's quite a lot. 60 grams between the two shoes, or 40 grams is quite a lot in a size UK 9. And so I do feel that a tiny bit when I'm running. I mean, you don't try and notice 20 grams when you're running is very difficult. The majority of people, you would not notice any of the weight difference. The Zoom X foam that comes in the shoe is the groundbreaking part of the shoe. It allows you obviously to, on the downhill, you can run fast because you have enough support from the shoe, so it lands, it's really soft on the heel. When you land into the heel, faster you go, you don't have that impact like you used to have just normal racing flats. And I think that's the reason why the stack height on shoes has gone up so much over the years, is that the carbon fiber plate obviously makes it quite rigid, and you need that foam, that soft foam support, allows you to land, not have too much impact from your legs from the carbon fiber plate, and obviously it allows you to rebound off it, which that's what this shoe is doing, and it will make you run faster. It's fact. And I've got some great data from, what is it, almost 2 years ago, that I'm going to release at the end of this year, 2021. Information is going to come out. I've been hoarding it for the last year and a half to see this information on carbon racing shoes and the proof of why they are so much faster. I'm quite excited to share that with you. I have to wait until the Olympics is obviously over, but I'll be able to share that information with you as soon as the Olympics is complete and finished, and I've finished racing the Olympics. I'm kind of going to give the shoe, so for myself, I would pick the Vaporfly over the Alphafly. That's a personal opinion for me. It depends on obviously how tall you are. If you have a very long stride, obviously these shoes help you even more. If you have a very short cadence, kind of the carbon fiber shoes, and then you won't benefit as much from the shoe. You're not getting as much rebound from the carbon fiber plate when you go through your gait cycle. Definitely, obviously, the taller you are, the longer your stride is, the more the shoe is going to help you to a small percentage. Obviously, smaller people will get less of an advantage slightly with these shoes. It's kind of what I feel. And obviously, the length of your stride, the longer you can have your stride, the quicker your turnover obviously decreases when you run in these shoes to a small degree. That's what I find with myself. Cadence decreases a bit, but the stride length goes a little bit longer. So very, very interesting scenario, interesting situation, but I think I'm going to keep these shoes for marathon, half marathon, kind of tempo, long runs, that type of thing. But I'm kind of trying to find a category for these shoes so far now. Very happy with them. They're a great shoe. A lot of money to spend on a pair of shoes, to tell the real truth. And there is a tiny bit of wear. Here in the forefoot from the last few runs. I noticed the heel is probably going to wear a tiny bit less than the forefoot on the shoe. Luckily, there's a lot of rubber coming up here in the forefoot, so the shoe should last quite a few miles. And yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you got some information from it. Hopefully it gives you, obviously, if you make a decision between the Nike Alphafly and the Nike Vaporfly, those are kind of the two shoes that I kind of enjoy doing my racing, and I think I'll be doing my racing in over the next few months. And yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it the like, as well as subscribe to my channel. See more videos coming out in the future about racing shoes, about bicycles, about a whole bunch of different category or different ranges of things, as well as obviously training videos, advice on training, running things as well. I'm a triathlete, but very passionate about shoes and the development of how running is improving and how things are progressing, the technology side of things. So yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed this video. Cheers.